Hey everybody, welcome to DVM 360. My name is Dr. Adam Chrisman. I'm the Chief Veterinary Medical Officer here. And joining us today, we have three wonderful guests, and we're going to be talking about telemedicine. What? Technology, where do we begin? So say hi, everybody.
Hi.
So who do we have here? So joining us first is Dr. Stacy Santee. Dr. Santee is a 1996 graduate from Colorado State University and the founder of Vet2Pet, a technology startup that builds personalized custom apps for veterinary practices. With over 20 years of clinical experience in small animal emergency practice, Dr. Stacy brings in the trenches approach to innovation and solutions for veterinary teams. She has also served as a medical advisory consultant for NBA for 5 years, medical director for general ER practice in Colorado, as well as current president of the Colorado Veterinary Medical Association. Oh, that's a lot, Dr. Santee. Welcome.
You can also just call me, Chief House Nerd.
There you go. We're all going to geek out. Also joining us is Dr. Caitlin DeWild. Dr. DeWild holds her DVM degree from the University of Illinois College of Veterinary Medicine, where she was the president of the Veterinary Business Management Association. With a long interest in business, marketing, and practice management, Dr. DeWild created the Social DVM in 2013, an interactive social media platform connecting pet parents to the veterinary healthcare team. Welcome, Dr. Caitlin.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Glad you're here. And also is Dr. Catherine Prim. She is the owner and founder and chief veterinarian at Applebrook Animal Hospital, opened in 1998. She's a certified veterinary practice manager, and she's the nation's first fear-free certified professional in 2016. She sits on the Fear-Free Advisory Panel from 2016 to present, and she is a host of 9 Lives with Dr. Cat and Dr. Cat Gone to the Dogs on Pet Life Radio. She's a national conference speaker, a freelance writer, resident vet for I Heart Dogs and I Heart Cats since 2015, and she's an author of Tennessee Tales, Pets and Their People, published in 2013. She's also a blogger, media personality, granting interviews. She's been featured in Women's Day, Prevention, and Health magazine. Welcome to this wonderful celebrity chat we have, Dr. Prim.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Well, this is really nice and fun. And given the current climate that we're in, unfortunately, we're dealing with something very serious, this pandemic of COVID-19. And all of us as veterinarians are, kind of trying not to freak out. And some of us have to adjust to change. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on technology, because it's a big player with what we got going on right now. So what do you think, or how has technology changed in the way in which we practice veterinary medicine in general? What are some things that we've seen in trends?
Well, I think it's just become essential. I don't think anybody has an option anymore. I think for a while it was very much a elective, kind of only the most advanced practices, or only, somebody with a motivated techie on their staff like me that would do it. But now it's like, oh crap, this could be a huge deal breaker as a business if we're not utilizing some of these tools to still be able to even practice and do so efficiently, and hopefully not too much remotely, but to some degree that as well.
I agree. We're just gonna have to jump now. But guys, we've been training for this like our whole life. We're ready. We can do it. We haven't really needed to. We've dabbled in it and we've innovated some, but now it's here, and I think nobody is better equipped for this job than the vet.
We're the ultimate person for the zombie apocalypse. Let's be real.
We are. I mean, if you've been in the abdomen when something starts bleeding and you're like, oh, I have no idea what that's about, or the hit by car comes in and you're trying to navigate the situation, assess options, make a decision to save a life. We can do it. I'm excited for our profession right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of a nerd, and this is my tribe, but I'm all about the relationships with my clients. And if I can use technology to maintain a relationship without touch, I love that. I think that's a perfect idea.
Well, think about, we've all been practicing for years now. So what are some examples that we can think of that maybe veterinarians don't even realize that we've used in the past that we had to convert over to technology?
Oh, well, we all can remember the pain of going from paper to software, right?
Yeah.
Like we did that.
Yeah. Well, not everybody's done that yet, but I think they're going to realize that they have to. I mean, honestly, it's been just in the past 2 weeks, it's been a big eye opener for me. I work at 2 different practices, and one is cloud-based and one is not. And I'm like, oh, this is a huge problem. Like it's fine. We're working around it, and we have, you know, some software to now that we had to scramble together so that we could connect, you know, remotely so we could do some things at home. But I think a lot of practices have already jumped to cloud, and they're now feeling very good about that decision. And those that haven't, just because they have these, you know, huge investments in legacy software that still works, you know, they're having to find those solutions. But I think everybody's kind of in the mindset of like, okay, looking forward, I think this experience will change how we make decisions in the future, but also makes us appreciate the decisions we've already made.
Right.
Absolutely. I love that. I've been paperless for a really long time, and I've had remote software where I can access medical records for a really long time, and I can't imagine trying to navigate this particular issue without being able to do that. So yes, absolutely.
I even look back to something as simple as having a website. You know, when I first started practicing, we didn't even have a website, you know, so just that whole idea, what do you mean we're going to be putting ourselves out there? Like, I don't know if this is a good idea. What are people going to say about us? And how is this going to happen? And then I think of just like the regular x-ray machine that we used to have. I know some practices still have that, but just transitioning from that to DR and having those digital images, that's a huge hurdle to deal with. But yeah, just like you said, Stacy, like we are veterinarians, we are tough. We're ready for this stuff.
We can do it. I remember when I first got out of school, this was in '96, we had one of those machines that could take a plain film and turn it into a digital image, and you'd have to load it in the scanner thing, and it was quite a process, but you didn't have to dip the films anymore, and it was crazy.
Right.
We've done a lot. We've come a long way. We just don't even think about it.
That's true. What are some conversations that you guys have had with your teams in order to get buy-in with any technology change? Like, give me an example of anything that you try to implement that required a team buy-in.
Well, I implemented the fear-free protocols in my hospital, and I talk about that a lot. And I've put together a team that is extremely open-minded and open to change, and they love how much communication we have, and we have very, very frequent team meetings, and they've all really adjusted to that really well. And this whole COVID issue has been the same. We've had to have a lot of meetings, and a lot of things posted, a lot of protocols, so they know what to do. And I think communication is really the key to that.
Mm-hmm.
My team, we implemented Slack just in the last 2 weeks at one of the hospitals, and it was solely because one of the lead technicians was unfortunately on quarantine, and she wanted to help. She felt fine, but it just wasn't safe for her to be in the practice, and it's still not. So, but we needed her leadership, and we needed her job, right, to still get done, and she was willing to do so. So for us, it was really showing, number one, that there was a way around a bad situation, and number two, showing how it would help the other people on the team. I think that was kind of key to us being able to implement it quickly and get it going and get people utilizing it. We also tried to make it a little bit fun, so it wasn't like completely like, wah, wah, here's all the curbside protocol stuff. So not all scary.
I've messed this one up so much, I can't even tell you. I have really learned I know now what to do because I learned what not to do. And really, if you just go dump a new protocol on your team without taking the time to listen to their concerns and ask them what they think, and surface up some more ideas from your team, you're gonna not get as much buy-in as you could get. And you really want to talk to your team, listen, and don't even share. Here's the rub: don't share your brilliant idea until you've listened to everyone else's ideas. Give them time to think about the problem, because you might be surprised at some of the solutions. There are smart people inside our practices, and to me, that's what I learned the hard way, is the best way to implement change on anything, including technology.
I agree. And what Caitlin's talking about is the Slack messaging app where you can communicate. And I don't know if all of our listeners are familiar with that, but I've certainly utilized that as well. And I have an instant messaging program that we all use also. And I'm sure Dr. Santee does as well.
Yeah, that's what, let's talk about that. So, we have COVID-19 here, you guys. And so doctors, tell me, where do we begin? What are some practices of data? What is Zoom? What is GoToMeeting? Where do I begin? Where's the on button? What would you say?
I say, before you grab the scalpel, grab the oxygen. That's what I say. Don't just jump to the hottest technology you heard about in some Facebook group. You've got to still bring in this is when I say we've been training for this. Assess the problem. You've got to know, are my visits down? Are people not coming in? Or am I overrun with too many visits? Or am I trying to limit in-person interactions? You've got to know what the problem is before you can throw a solution on it. And then once you've identified the problem, assess your options and go ask some friends. There are a lot of trailblazers out here that our profession is so nice. We have the nicest, most giving colleagues. And I know Caitlin would pick up the phone anytime I call her. I know Kat would. I just met you, Adam. I'm pretty sure you would pick up the phone too. So we're all here to help and find some people that have already dipped their toe in the water here. Take that little bit of time to get some information and then make a decision and then go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. There are Facebook groups. We communicate a lot on Facebook group. Several ones that I admin and that I'm a member of. We're resources to each other. And I think that is something that has changed in the industry a little bit, that we're considering each other colleagues. And we are each other's tribe a lot more than it used to be maybe when we first graduated. And I really love that.
I think a big key thing is too, and the Facebook groups alone, like the last 2 weeks, I've never seen so much collaboration and support of each other as I have in the last 2 weeks. And there's been a lot of groups that are specifically focused on this topic, but even the other just general ones are still like, what do you do about this loan thing? And how do you handle this unemployment thing? And what about telemedicine? And there's groups for all of those as well. But I think a big thing from the technology standpoint is to do what Stacy said, kind of figure out your problem, identify a solution. Let's say it's telemedicine. And then you need to know, are you a doctor, or are you someone that just needs somebody to tell you where to click? And there are two very different kinds of groups, and either one is fine. But then I think that will narrow your search. If you're a tech person, you could easily put this together in an hour and a half, like with no specific software. But if you need somebody to do it for you, then you need to find one of the all-in companies.
And I like when Stacy and I were talking about this a few days ago, just basic things on like knowing your camera angles, making sure you have light, and because it's no different than having a conversation with a pet parent in the exam room. So you want to make sure that you either look the part, look professional. I think, and it also can create a warm atmosphere. Actually, it can even be better because you look more personable when you could be on camera than you could be in person. So what are your takes about that too?
Well, I say the worst thing, and we've all heard this if you've been a vet for over 5 minutes, is, boy, you look tired. It doesn't really breed confidence. And what you're trying to project, either in-person exam room or on video, is confidence that you're put together, you've got this situation under control. So pay attention to your background. You don't want, people running around. You don't want, I know I just envision what every day our wet tables look like after procedure. It looks like a bomb went off. That is not what the clients want to see. That looks like you've completely lost control of the situation. So you want to take a few minutes to just make sure, do a little check on yourself and make sure that you're got a little color in your cheeks. You know, I say put a little lip gloss on. I'm a big fan of that MAC under your eye bag concealer. Just drop a few tips here and get on camera with really good lighting, and you'll look really like you've got your life together, even if you don't.
I think those tips are awesome. And I think you also need to think about what's behind you. If things are moving behind you at all, people are going to look at them instead. But I'm also a big fan of trying to find the quietest spot in the hospital. When I've done a couple of telemedicine consults, it's been in the consultation room, AKA, you know, that other room, the death room kind of thing, but that's the quietest room, and there's usually away from everything else that's going on in the hospital. I usually try to tell the front desk, hey, I'm going to do a telemedicine consult right now, so don't do the overhead paging if you can. Obviously, if it's in normal business hours, then they have to, and it is what it is. But I think trying to limit the sound. And then for me, I always try to, of course, my own cat is trying to like crash this at the moment, but I would try to not have a cat jump in your lap during the call. But I try to like angle a little bit up. Like if you have your computer or your phone and you're looking like this, you're going to look like 900 pounds heavier, and all of your roots are going to show, and you haven't been able to go to the salon to get them covered lately. So you gotta think about the angles.
Well, I never think about that much about my makeup and my, maybe I need to, maybe you guys are telling me that I need to, but I do try to project the calmness and the same personality that I am in the exam room. So right now, though, we're doing telemedicine only for my regular clients that I already have a veterinary client-patient relationship with, and not people that don't know me. So, you know, maybe that's something we should touch on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how are you supposed to establish a relationship with someone you don't know very well, or perhaps you don't know at all?
Yeah, that makes it always a little bit of a challenge for sure. And there's some little legality behind all that, which changes by state, of course, too. But I want to say to all the viewers out there, these are tips that no one's going to tell you about, that we just told you to your face. So, you know, when somebody's going to talk smack about you, about your camera angle or lighting, now you have the four of us that just got you right in track there. So.
And you know what kind of eye makeup to put on, right?
Well, I mean, guys, this is still about delivering an experience, and you still have an end game, which is to get that pet owner to do what you say or recommend so you can help your patient. That is still the game we're playing. And if we don't build the bond, we fall dead in our tracks with that. So we have to, you know, still build a rapport. And it's, to me, I feel like it's a lot about kind confidence. You know, it's about calm, peaceful confidence that we can project on screen still, even though we are limited because we don't have all of our people to help us.
Well said, well said.
Well, I definitely have taken advantage of community as we're dealing with this. I talked with Dr. Santee before we implemented telemedicine, and I also talked with some of my colleagues that are doing behavior medicine, because they've been taking advantage of telemedicine forever because they needed to see the patient in its home environment. And so I drew on the community to be able to do this, and I would encourage all the viewers to do likewise.
Excellent. Well, yeah, so this is a great little webisode we just had, you guys. So on our next webisode, stay tuned, because we're going to be talking about the pet parent experience and how it doesn't have to be compromised when there's curbside concierge that is occurring during COVID-19. But before we go, guys, doctors, you have to show all the viewers our favorite mug that we have. So Stacy, go ahead, start with your, what does it say?
It says, drink coffee, play some gangster rap, and handle it. We got this.
We do got this. You're right. Absolutely. Caitlin, what does yours say?
Mine mine says Penny Pemphigus loves you, because my vet school classmate drew cartoons of all kinds of germ lesions and made us all coffee mugs. So it never ceases to make me laugh. So that's my favorite mug for this week anyway.
I love it. Dr. Kat.
Okay, so mine is the word, like the final word that ends everything. Mine says veterinary medicine because people are gross.
That's awesome.
So true. Mine, I'll show you mine too. This one is Baby Yoda, and I was telling the ladies that a client actually thought I adopted this dog on my story, and so she wanted to know like where I got him from. I said it was from a shelter far from away. So, and then she reached out a couple of weeks ago just to see how big he got, and I still sent the same picture and said he hasn't gotten that much bigger. So.
He's famous too.
This is my baby, the child. But thank you, doctors, for joining me today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.